Okay. Okay, this is good. It's good. Get myself. A legend is sung of when England was young, and lights were brave and bold. The good king had died, and no one could decide who was rightful heir to the throne. It seemed. Oh yeah, I'm recording, aren't I? Don't you fucking put this in, Dave, I swear to God.
PS Too Many Games.
Hello guys, welcome to PS Too Many Games. As you saw earlier in the video, yes, we found more PS2 stuff in Great Yarmouth CEX. Was not the plan. It was not. So, long story incredibly short. As you saw about a week ago, we found some N64 games at Great Yarmouth CEX. That was planned. That was literally, I knew they had it. 3 days later, I was back in Great Yarmouth. I was getting some ink cartridges from Argos for my printer. I do a lot of printing in my job. I need them. And while there, I thought, let's just check CEX stocks online. I'm literally about half a minute, like about 10 minutes walk away from CEX at that point. Not only had someone traded in quite a few CEX Rarities, PS2, but one of them that I actually generally wanted and needed sooner rather than later. So I was like, to CEX! And thankfully I had it, but while I was there, I actually found 2 more games that I either missed from last time or I forgot to pick up last time. You can understand what I mean. So we actually have 3 PS2 games out of the collection. Hopefully, one of them is not a game that my friend Jonathan Neal Smith put aside for me, but I think I've got a list for that, so you'd be surprised at the moment. I'm basically making sure I'm not buying games that someone has put aside for me. It has come up twice where I nearly went to buy one game, and I went, hang on a minute. I looked up, it was like, no, that's already been put aside. That came close twice in the last 2 months. Things are going rather well for the channel, apart from actual in real life where it's fucking hot. For the first time this week, the sun's been actually like intense. No clouds in the sky. It's beautiful weather. Problem is the heat has been strong, and I can handle heat, but not like extreme heat. When you get to like 30 Celsius or above, that's a bit extreme for me. And sometimes I'm just walking around going, oh, isn't it hot? Like everyone else does. Especially when you're doing a bit of gardening. And I love my garden. Even started growing vegetables. That's right, he's getting a bit middle class. Oh my god. I'm in now I'm like my 30s. Gardening became more appealing, and no one will lie, the garden's looking rather good compared to what it was 4 years ago. Proud moment. I've even had people and my friends ask me to do a random PS Too Many Gardens episode. I'm just gonna throw it out there. If anyone actually wants to see my garden and my gardening tips, just say yes. I doubt you want to, but apparently my friends do. So if you ever see a joke episode of the garden, don't take it too seriously. But I do take my garden seriously. My butterfly bushes, which I forgot the name of what they're called right now, they are beautifully blossoming, and we've got butterflies and bees everywhere. It's a good vibe. Anyway, that's probably the most sidetracked I've ever got in a PS2 mini games episode. As stated before, PS2 stuff will always be the main achievement for this channel. So to find 3 games at CEX these days is actually pretty good going. And we are actually rapidly approaching 1900. I have not added the last 2 episodes to that, so we're pretty much like 1880 plus. So we're getting to 1900. By the way, I basically have found copies of all the 20 games that I remember about a month ago. I said I found 20 games in the collection. Now, actually, the discs were awful. I replaced them all. That's happened. So, thankfully, they were not hard to find. There is a Norwich gaming market once again at the start of August. I will hopefully be attending. There is one in Great Yarmouth, which should be quote-unquote interesting. For those of you who live or have been to Great Yarmouth, it is an interesting place. And a place where I don't think many small events happen. That gaming market apparently is happening in the Marina Centre. Bearing in mind that it's closer to me than Norwich is, a fact I'm not entirely happy about in my life. It's actually like 10 to 20 minutes away, which is really handy for like gamer markets. I do enjoy the video retro gamer markets. I really do. Friendly. I have been allowed to enter it a little earlier. First time ever where I've been allowed to enter a gamer market early. I never ever have asked for YouTube pull. I was just given I was just asked if you want to come in early, and I did, and it's greatly benefited me finding certain games. So I'm not going to mention the gentleman's name because he don't even want some privacy, but to the person who generally runs the game market, who I know on a personal level, thank you. You know who you are, and hopefully you will continue to improve and make the local game markets bigger. Obviously, Norwich, Great Yarmouth. I know you also run Brighton, Camden Town, random areas. The more game markets, the better. It's just like wrestling. If it's just one massive company, it kind of sucks for wrestling fans. But if there's two, it makes it more competitive, more better. I like modern times where they're both kind of shit. Growing up as a wrestling fan in the 80s and 90s, it kind of ruined modern day because wrestling today doesn't really make any sense. It never did properly, but now it's just kind of like insultingly doesn't make any sense. But I will say, massive fan of El Grande Americano, the American luchador who has somehow gained half a foot in height, mysteriously. On a personal note, my car has just passed its MOT today, so that was another bill that I managed to avoid. But anyway, I rightfully decided to choose a reliable car manufacturer, my current car. I'm not going to say what I drive, just in case people want to try and find me out. Let's just say, the older I've gotten, the more like conscious I have of what cars are built well, what cars are not built well. What are your advice in life? Don't buy French, buy German or Japanese. French cars are not built well. I've never bought a Dacia, which is basically a Romanian Renault. I've heard decent things about Dacias, but German or Japanese. Those are the two reliable countries for car making. Probably Japanese are the best. Some people find Japanese cars a tad boring. They're right for me. Just don't buy Nissans. Nissans are not good cars. I'm going to upset so many people. How dare you insult my Nissan Qashqai or Nissan Juke? Fuck you, PS Too Many Games. You can tell my morale's pretty good at the moment because I'm just having a little bit of joking and fun times. Anyway, we're going to throw a commercial in here right now. On the other side of this, we're going to come up with the 3 games. One of these I thought I owned, but after doing the organisation once again, I found out it's not there. So I don't own it. What I will say, one thing that concerns me, and a friend of the channel, Ember Games, pointed out that her favourite game, Draken, which I swear to God I've bought for this collection, is not there. So that's 2 games where they've mysteriously gone missing, and I'm getting concerned that some... Extreme paranoia is one thing. I'm concerned that someone's coming in here like every so often and just secretly removing one of the games, which they totally could do. It's called First World Terrorism. That's what that's called. Domestic terrorism. That's what that's called. But I am genuinely worried that that there are certain people who can enter this building, all family members. They wouldn't do it, but you know, sometimes you're like, this game's mysteriously gone missing. Was it you? Insert name here. Oh, good lord. I'll never be that guy, but... And Ember's right, it is not down there, so I will be rapidly looking for another copy of Draken. Which is strange, because on the list we're still... My poor organisation... Okay. My poor organisation over the last 2 years... Okay, I'm not perfect by that way, and I have bought these games because I remember showing Draken off for PS Too Many Games, same as I did for like Raceway Speed Raceway. By the way, I found that game. I did find that game, so take that off the list. You know what I'm talking about. Trying to 100% organise a collection like this, you do make mistakes. Never intended to make mistakes, but the new system has actually allowed me to easily note what I'm missing. So that has really been beneficial, but it's also shown that there are certain games where I know I own it somewhere, but it's not in the fucking room, which greatly concerns me. See, I do these silly things. It's called playing the games. And I am notorious for taking the game out of the room and forgetting to put it back. That is causing me massive issues. Problem is, my short-term memory is also terrible. And it's got to the point now where it's like, I put things down like 3 hours later, I can't remember where I put them, and it takes me like ages to find stuff. I think it's a sign of just like mild aging. Anyway, serious note, we're now going to commercials on the other side.
Life is filled with ups and downs. So, live it up. Live life to the maximo. Maximo, only from Capcom. Rated T for teen.
And we have returned. So 3 games from Yarmouth CEX out on a whim. We will go into some price comparisons soon. I'll explain why. But we'll just go through them one by one. Game number 1, a game that's practically worthless, but I think it's the last quote-unquote international game I need. International Pool Championship. Now, once again, I swear to God I have bought this before, but it's so cheap, I don't give a fuck about buying it twice. But over here, in the international section, it's not there. It is not there. But I swear I've owned multiple copies. You see that blue case about there? That is where this should go. So, by doing this, which should be easy to do with one... God damn it! Jesus crikey. By doing this, which I'm sure Dave will totally leave in the video. No more international games. Huzzah! Now the next game I'm almost certain I know I bought before, because this cost me £15, probably would have been a tenner a year ago. DNA Dark Native Apostle. Now the artwork on this looks quite astonishing. Looks really good. Also made by Hudson, so a company that's made good games and bad games. Mixed reviews on Hudson. I have no knowledge of this game. It's only a one-player game, by the way, so we'll just go through what the back says. Set in the futuristic world of human genetic modification, you are simply known as B13. As you regrain, remix. As I was trying to speak, or say even, as you regain consciousness from a mysterious explosion, your only memory is a hazy recollection of brutal tests and body warping experiments. It's... Keep going, Adam. Keep going. You can do this. It's not long before you are being pursued by security forces and mutant creatures alike. This is where your story begins. Bomb blasting, tank busting, flamethrowers, mutant alligators. A perfect blend of puzzle solving and all-out action. Fantastic manga-style cel-shaded graphics. Use special biochips in conjunction with one another for extraordinary powers. A hugely playable isometric 3D blaster, says official PlayStation 2 magazine. That was painful to read. So many long words. We eventually got there. Cel-shaded graphics, one player. I will try this. I am genuinely intrigued by DNA Dark Native Apostle. If anyone's played it, by the way, just tell me in the comments what's like, because I actually look like I'm going to be playing that game rather shortly. Now, the last game is a game where one of those games where you always thought you've owned it, but you don't. And I don't think I've actually ever owned this game. I've owned the sequel for quite a while, and the sequel has come up quite often in the CX Rarities and on price comparisons, if you will. Anyway, the rarity I went to get, a game which was significantly cheaper 2 years ago, you have no idea. It's the original Forbidden Siren. Now, as you can see, clearly as it states, I had to pay £85 for this. Now, 2 years ago at CEX, this would have cost me about 30 to 40 quid. significantly cheaper, and it is literally doubled in price in 2 years. Doubled and more, as you can see. Now, it's kind of weird, and I'll explain why. Because when I bought the sequel about 2 years ago now, maybe just short of 2 years ago now, Forbidden Siren 2, as you can see then, I paid £50 about, if it's just maximum 2 years, maybe just less than 2 years. Let's say like 20 months ago. And as we know, this game now, you're going to be paying between £150 to £200. Legit at CEX. It's gone up that much, 4 times the price. So it kind of feels bad that I actually paid more for the original than I did for the sequel, considering the sequel now is worth significantly more than the original is. This just shows you how prices have increased so much in the 2 year span for PS2. Where a game which was worth about £30 to £40 2 years ago is now £85, and where its sequel has literally tripled and it has come close to quadrupling in price in 2 years. And the fact that 2 years ago I paid £50 for a game that is now worth, I'm going to put the price in by the way, but it's worth a minimum of £150 according to CEX by the way. And I paid more for the original, which was worth significantly less than £85 2 years ago. This shows you that many things have occurred. Firstly, if I ever sell this collection, which probably is not going to happen anytime soon, I'm going to make what would only be subscribed as a humongous profit on the whole collection. But that's not going to happen in a long time, and I have no intention, I never did have any intention of selling the collection, because I love PS2. Secondly, the price increases / price gouging in the last 2 years has been incredible. Insultingly incredible. And generally speaking, bearing in mind the console is 20 to 25 years old now, just take that in. If I started, how can I put this? If I had to start collecting for the PS2 today, I wouldn't do it. I would not do it for the prices. But because I started about 5 or 6 years ago, we're going to finish it, obviously. We're going to finish it. But I would not start collecting for the PS2 today. And for those who are watching going, so, well, actually, I think you'll find you started collecting for the N64 about a month ago, that's different. That library is significantly smaller. And there will be some hurtful games for the N64, and there's still some games really it's going to be painful. But no way in a million years would I collect for it in 2025 from the beginning. Especially like the modern games, like games that would have cost you 50p now cost you £1. This is about 2 years ago. Games that would have cost you a £5 2 years ago now probably cost you £10 to £15. If you understand what I mean. Financially, on top of each other, that makes a big difference to modern day collectors. So for anyone who is insane enough to think about collecting a full PS2 set starting 2025, more power to you. I wish you all the luck. I wouldn't recommend it anymore. But I'm so close. We're now like officially like an inches away from 80% of all PS2 games of the PALs region. If you look at the list I've got, 80%. So we own 4 out of 5 games released in PS2 for the PAL. That's pretty much factual. But it is really hard now. And rightfully so, it's hard because they've gotten older, there's less of them because people throw them away. But some of the prices of some of these games, especially horror games, really are questionable at best. And I'm not trying to bring it down because these games are very good. And I'll read the back of the description for the original Forbidden Siren. Midnight, a siren echoes through the night sky. A blood-red sea engulfs the land surrounding the village of the village of Hanuda, and draws towards the sound. The villagers begin to wade into the water, emerging soon after as the Chibito, the living dead. If I'm mispronouncing some of these words, I apologise. But there are 10 survivors. At different times over the next 3 days, they will each suffer unspeakable terror. Only by piecing together their experiences can a reason for the nightmare be unearthed. They will gain the ability to sidejack, to see through the eyes of others. They will rely on instinct to fight to survive. But there will be no heroes. There is no hope. The Forbidden Siren is calling. Oh god. I wish I had a voice for like trailers. I really do. Obviously, I'll be playing this because now it gives me a very good reason to play the sequel, because I was never going to play this until I got the first one, so now it gives me a good. But if you notice, the two interesting games today, rocking the black and red Astif, if you will, and very happy. Very happy to have them both. And more to take off the list. Bear me a second. So change the board to 1876. That includes the 6 games we got from Hat and Stuart from the last episode, and the 3 games we've got today. There is one episode I've missed, and that is the episode from Germany. We picked up like 10 plus, so we're very close to 1890 in reality. But until I actually watch that episode again and remember what I picked up, because it's been over a month since then, I don't want to put a number there that is not accurate. Yeah. Anyway, bit of a downer to the end of the episode, but I had to really address my feelings towards prices on PS2. Once again, Great Yarmouth comes in tops. I will be strongly looking to go to Norwich very soon, because I'm getting a tad sick of Great Yarmouth. And Norwich is the closest place besides that. And I really want to go back to the last little games. It'll be the first time I've gone there since I decided to touch N64 also. But obviously PS2 stuff will come first. That's the idea, and makes me happy. Anyway, thank you for watching. Please comment and subscribe. For any new subscribers in the last month, welcome. For those who have stayed for the last 2 years, I appreciate you all immensely. Once again, this is a very niche channel. I don't expect it to be like... If we get the 2,000 subscribers, I'll be elated. But if we don't, I don't care. I do this for funsies. I really do. Anyway, thank you for watching. Have a good day, guys. I will see you later. Bye.